Foster? He's right here. Have a seat, please, sir. You had testified previously, is that correct in this case?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that you're still under oath?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And just for the record, the jury state, would you state your name again?
Yes, it's Stephen, S-T-E-V-E-N, Foster, F-O-S-T-E-R.
And you work with the GBI, sir?
Yes, sir.
And what office do you work out of?
The Thompson Regional Office.
And what is your position with the Thompson Regional Office?
For the past 17 years, I've been the crime scene specialist in that office.
And in March of 2011, you requested to come up and assist in the investigation of the shooting there of Officer Tony Howard and Officer Buddy Christian as other events that occurred during that time period.
Yes, sir, I was.
Now, when you testified before, you were asked about the Cadillac that you processed. Is
Yes,
that correct?
yes.
And you were asked about a bullet hole on the passenger side front door.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you have an occasion after you testified before to look more closely at the photographs you had of that particular door
Yes,
at that time?
I did.
And what did you discover as you kind of looked in and zoomed in on that, sir, if you will?
Yes, sir. As I left court that day, I went directly to my office and I looked at the photographs that I had taken back on March 22nd and did see in those two locations, the interior side and exterior side of that right front door, that there was a bullet hole in that door. And that did refresh my memory that at the time I had noticed that bullet hole in that door.
Now, let me go back further to March 25th, 2011. Did you have an occasion to be in Athens that evening after 11 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
That time. And were you requested to take any action as far as a crime scene investigator on that particular day?
Yes, sir, I was.
What were you asked to do, sir?
At about 11 o'clock p.m., I was asked to go to 102 Creekside Drive in Athens and document that location through photographs and a diagram, and also collect evidence that was located at that location. It was reportedly the location where Jamie Hood was arrested.
And you said Creekside, 102 Creekstone?
Yes, sir, Creekstone, I'm sorry.
Okay. And at some point after all that and after the surrender, did you actually proceed to process that particular scene?
Yes, sir, at approximately 11:30 p.m.
Okay. Were you in charge of doing that?
Yes, sir.
Before you started that, were you awaiting anything before you actually began going inside that particular building?
Yes, sir. Before I did, I was waited to make sure that we had a search warrant for that location, and I believe that that was already done upon my arrival at 11:30. So when I got there at 11:30, I could go ahead and proceed.
And as you process a scene like that, can you tell us the procedure that you follow in order to process something like that? How do you go about starting that process? And what do you do along the way?
Yes, sir. In this particular case, most of what I'm doing is documenting the scene. So when I arrive, I take photographs of the interior and the exterior of the residence. This particular house was a duplex. So 102 was on one side, and there was a second residence attached to it on the south side of the home. 102, of course, was the side that we were interested in. So I photographed the exterior of the house, including some vehicles that were parked in the driveway. The exterior, with the exception of one item, was not very remarkable, so it was just photographed for documentary purposes. After the exterior is photographed, I went into the interior. I went in through the front door, and as I walk through the house, I'm simply photographing everything as I see where it is as I'm going through. So I photograph each of the rooms. This particular house had a living room, a kitchen area, laundry room, 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. So as I walk through the house, I'm just photographing the house as in the condition that it's in, and any evidence that I'm seeing as I'm doing that is also being photographed. In addition to the photographs, what I like to do is go in and take measurements of the house, the inside of the house, each of the rooms, and then prepare that as a diagram so you can actually see a bird's eye view of the house itself, get an idea of the size of the residence, and then go back in and place items of evidence, items of furniture, things of that nature in that diagram to get a good perspective from an overhead view of where those items are located and how the house is configured. And I did that
that, did you actually process that scene the way you described?
Yes, I did.
And did you take photographs of the exterior as well as the interior to document different matters?
Yes, I did.
And you did that before you seized certain items?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell us basically, when you, did you seize particular items in this particular case?
Yes, I did.
What was it you seized?
There was a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson pistol that was on the coffee table in the living room. That was actually collected as evidence. It was loaded with a magazine in place that had 7 40 caliber cartridges or unfired bullets in the magazine. There was one additional unfired cartridge that was in the chamber, so it was in the firing position in the pistol. So that pistol and its ammunition were collected. Also in the living room was kind of a curio cabinet that was located against the north wall, and on top of that curio cabinet was a box of 50 Winchester 40 caliber bullets. That box was also collected as evidence. As I continued to go through the house, I had been requested to collect any cell phones that I'd found in the house. So as I walked through and found 4 individual cell phones, each of those cell phones was collected as evidence. And on the exterior of the residence, a bicycle had been located nearby in a little wooded area, and that bicycle was also collected as evidence.
And were all those taken into custody by you?
Yes, they were.
And were they placed into evidence by you?
Yes, sir. They were at the Athens office.
You do that by filling out you got a property receipt?
Yes, sir.
Documenting basically their seizure as well as what you did with them?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you talked about how you prepare a diagram, one without items in it as well as one with items. Did you do that in this particular case, sir?
Yes, I did.
Let me show you what I'll mark at this time. Show you what I've marked as states exhibits 908 and 909 at this time. See those items, sir?
Yes, sir.
908, what is that, sir?
908 is the diagram that I produced that showed the dimensions of the residence, the interior measurements of the different rooms.
And is that a diagram that you do to scale?
It is to scale. The measurements are accurate as far as that. Location of furniture and things of that nature aren't necessarily to scale, but the measurements are accurate.
But 908 doesn't have the furniture and those kind of things, is it?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
And how do you go about doing that? You do it by hand or you do it by some sort of program?
On these particular overhead diagrams that we do, we actually use a Hilti laser instead of a tape measure. The laser is very accurate, and it allows us to take measurements inside and outside of a residence very quickly. So that's what we use to determine these measurements.
And 909 is what, sir?
909 is the second diagram that I do. I use the same overview of the residence, And in this diagram, I'm placing items in the diagram to show where the furniture was, where items of evidence were, and that's what 909 is.
And the items that you place in there, whether it's furniture and everything, do you place those as best you can with what you have there?
Yes, I do. These are actually are approximate locations. It's just to give a overview of where things were roughly.
And you list in that particular item, 909, just everything possible that was in the house, or just the major items, I guess, as you've found them to be?
Yes, sir. It was just the major ones, and in this one it was the gun, the ammunition, and it didn't include the 4 telephones that were also collected. So it was basically the firearm and the ammo.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I would send their State's Exhibit 908, 909 into evidence.
Any objection? No, sir, Your Honor. Admitted.
And I'd like to display those, if I can, to the jury judge. And I have copies set for each of the jurors, if I may do that, as well as the defendant and the court.
All right. Yes.
Well, I thought we were showing it to the escrow. I do it now to you.
We already do that with
Aaron's
Elmer.
asking to do both. You
Okay,
object?
but today,
Is that what you're doing?
Yes, Your Honor. Those are clipped together. There's 2 documents per that are paper clipped together. Another one. Can you give one to the court and to the defendant? Mr. Edwards, would you mind turning the light, please? And Agent, you have the pointer up there.
Yes, sir.
Let me show you, if I can, first of all, State's Exhibit 908. That's the overall diagram without any furniture and so forth in it. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And the dimensions that you've indicated on there were the dimensions that you, measurements that you took by your laser, that particular day?
I see exhibit 68 at the bottom. Is it 68, 98, what is it?
Well, I don't know what that speaks to, but it is the number that's on the red sticker.
I just walked up.
The bottom here where it has exhibit 68 relates to what, Agent? At the bottom right-hand corner of State's Exhibit 908, where it has at the bottom here, Exhibit 68.
Yes, sir. The exhibits on the GBI documentation are basically exhibits as they fall in our case file. It helps us just manage the location of different things. So this would have been the 68th document in the GBI case file in this case.
Yes. And as far as this particular item, you indicated the living room, and you see on this item the front door to that living room?
Yes, sir, I do. It's in the upper left-hand corner of the diagram.
Okay. And as you came in there, do you see basically the other rooms here? Just go ahead and point out, and just for the record, go ahead and identify the different rooms as you found them to be on that day.
Yes, sir. As I walked through the front door, I found myself in the living room area, which is the largest room in the residence. Just to the east of the living room was the kitchen area, and below it was the laundry area and a small hallway that passes from the kitchen past the laundry area to the rear door, and this is a door that leads to the backyard area of the home. Adjacent to the living room was a small bedroom in the I'm going to just say the upper right-hand corner of the diagram. I believe that's northwest. This was a small bedroom, had no furniture in it. It had some clothing items in it, and it had a closet in the corner of it. The 2 bathrooms, one was located off of the living room, so it could be accessed from the public areas of the house. The second bathroom was off of the master bedroom, and it was on the north end of the house. And then at the lower right-hand corner of the diagram, which would be the east side of the house was the master bedroom itself. And those are how the house was laid out.
Let me show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 909. For the record, what is that, sir?
Yes, sir. This is the second diagram where my measurements have been removed from the diagram and items have been placed in to show the configuration of the furniture in the house and the condition of the house. In this particular diagram, it shows the approximate location of the sofa near the front entry door, the coffee table in the center of the living room. There was a love seat that was turned around basically facing toward the kitchen that was next to the coffee table. There was a large amount of clothing items, household items that were strewn about the house. So there's indicated on here where there were clothing, dirty items of clothing throughout the house. There were also a large number of those items in this upper right-hand corner bedroom. Also depicted on this diagram was the approximate location of the Smith & Wesson .40 caliber pistol, and it was again on this coffee table. And then at the top of the living room was this little cabinet or curio that held the .40 caliber ammunition, the box of 50, and that's what's depicted in this diagram.
And in that back bedroom, what do you recall, that master bedroom, what do you recall about that, if anything, at this point?
Yes, sir. One thing that was very noticeable was the mattress was off of the bed. The only thing that was on the bed frame was the box springs. It had some additional clothing, things like that on it, but the mattress itself had been taken off and was placed on top of the dresser that covered the window to that bedroom. So it basically had concealed view from the outside in of that particular bedroom, the master bedroom.
Sir, let me show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 741 through 907. Take a look at those items and see if you recognize those items, those photographs, and what they're photographs of.
Yes, sir. photographs that I took that night on March 25th, 2011, the entire group of photographs, the interior, exterior of the residence, and the evidence that was there.
And do those photographs fairly and accurately reflect the areas you photographed on the outside and inside of 102 Creekstone Drive on March 25th, 2011?
Yes, sir, they do.
And Your Honor, I would tender State Exhibit 741 through 907 into evidence at this time.
Any objection? No, sir, Your Honor.
Judge, I intend to go through these. I don't intend to go through, publish every single one of them. I do have a good number that I want to do that. You want to go ahead and start now before lunch, or do you want to run? Okay. So you sure, sir, State's Exhibit number 741, get light, thank you, sir. And the photos I'm giving you now just appear to be the outside of the residence.
Yes, sir.
And just tell us for the record what that is, sir.
The main portion in the center of the photograph, this is 102 Creekstone. Again, it's a duplex, so the uninvolved side of the duplex will be on the right side of the photograph, but this is the area that I was working on that night.
742.
This is a photograph from the south end showing the open door into 102, which would be on the left side of the photograph.
744.
This is the, I believe it's the east end of the duplex, taken from the east, looking at that east end of the residence.
745, sir.
This is looking back across the back of the duplex, and approximately in the center of the photograph is the rear door of the residence, and there were some items of clothing that was strewn about the outside of the residence there.
746.
Again, this is in the center of the photograph is the back door that leads into the backyard of 102 and then into the laundry room area of the home.
And 747.
This is a perspective looking in that back door, and this would look straight past the laundry room and into the living room area of the home.
And, 749.
This is, I believe, the front. This would be the living room area here in the right side of the photograph, and then the window on the left side of the photograph would be the left front or northwest corner bedroom. This is the one with no furniture.
750.
This is a photograph of the front entry door as I'm walking into the residence.
Let me show you what's been in the evidence State Exhibit 752 and 765. Those, Lisa. Just so you know. Tell us generally what that group of photos is depicting at that point.
Yes, sir. These are of the living room, overall photographs of the living room area of the home.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Ball, what was that?
741 through,
752,
I'm sorry, 752. 752 through 765. And State Exhibit 752 is showing what, sir?
This is standing in the entry door into the living room, looking to the west. This is that little curio cabinet, as I described earlier, and approximately there is the box of Winchester ammunition.
And going back to 909, do you see that curio cabinet in that particular diagram?
Yes, sir. It's in the top center of the diagram.
And what was located on that curio, sir?
Yes, sir. Again, it was a box of Winchester .40 caliber ammunition that didn't appear to have been opened at that point.
Where is it as I zoomed in on the cabinet?
It's the white box on the left side of that cabinet right there.
exhibit 753 is showing what, sir?
Yes, sir, this is from a perspective just inside the front entry door, looking back toward the kitchen, which is just above this television set. It's showing the love seat, as I described earlier, that's turned around backwards, facing back toward the kitchen. The sofa against this wall with the cushions gone, and then the coffee table located in the center of the photograph, and approximately here is the Smith & Wesson .40 caliber pistol.
And in State's exhibit 909, as you come in the front door, the sofa on the right.
Yes, sir. And I would have been standing in the doorway here, and then my perspective is looking back in that general area.
And as I zoomed into that coffee table, do you see on that the Smith & Wesson .40 as you found it when you entered the residence?
Yes, sir, I do. It's on the center of the photograph, right there.
State's exhibit 754 is showing what, sir?
This is the condition of the sofa. Again, this is just stepping just inside the front entry door to my right. The sofa was against that east wall, and just showing the condition of that sofa with the cushions off and everything basically in disarray.
755 is showing what, sir?
Yes, sir, there was a child's car seat that was located on the floor in the living room.
And the sofa depicted in the bottom right-hand corner of 755 was which one?
This is the actual sofa. The love seat would be in the top right corner of the photograph.
756 was what, sir?
This was just an area of various shoes and other household items that were along the front window. This would be on the north side. So again, this would be just inside the front entry door. Just these various items were located there. So I'll photograph those to document that.
And as we get further, did you basically take photographs of a whole bunch of different pairs of shoes in there?
Yes, sir. I've been asked by a supervisor to do that. So as we found shoes in the house, I just did that. I took photographs of the bottoms of the shoes.
You know whether there's any evidentiary value or not?
No, sir. I have no idea. I just did what I was told to do.
State's exhibit 757 was what, sir?
Yes, sir. This is a medium range shot of the coffee table, and again, this would be in the living room. You can see the TV, which is located at the north wall by the kitchen. So this is the coffee table in the living room.
And on the that sofa that was on the right as you go in the front door, where is that in this photograph? Do you see a portion of it?
Yes, sir. It's on the lower right-hand corner of the photograph, so the sofa would have been along the right side of this. The love seat is located on the upper left-hand side of the photograph.
And you see in that photograph where a portion of the weapon that you found at that time?
Yes, sir. In this photograph, it's in the upper right-hand corner on top of the coffee table, right there.
And is there a newspaper in there also?
Yes, sir. There is.
Did you seize that or you just photographed it?
I just photographed that. We didn't collect it.
State's exhibit 758 was what, sir?
Yes, sir. This is the photograph that I took of that Athens Banner Herald. This was from the day before, which would have been March 24th, and just noted that it had that headline of our officers press manhunt. So that was photographed. Again, wasn't collected.
And 759, sir? What is that?
This is an intermediate photograph of the gun itself, and this is the location and position that it was in when I came to this scene.
760 is a close-up of that weapon?
Yes, sir.
Before you seized it?
Yes, sir, it is.
$762 is showing what, sir?
These are furniture items that were on the floor, just general household items. This is at the north end of the living room near the entertainment center and television, I believe, is where this was taken.
.763 depicts what?
763 is from my perspective, being at the north end of the living room near the kitchen, looking back toward the front entry door, which would be this black door in the center of the photograph, just to show the living room from a different perspective.
764?
From the same location near the kitchen, this is looking back over toward the corner of the living room where that cabinet was located and the box of .40 caliber ammunition.
And you see that love seat in that photo, sir?
Yes, sir. It's in the lower right-hand corner of this photograph.
Please exhibit 765. What is that depicting, sir?
This is from that same perspective. The kitchen would be to my right. This is looking into that front bedroom that was basically unfurnished, and this is the public area bathroom located here. And then at the bottom of the photograph, this is the love seat that was turned around backwards.
Where's the front of that love seat in this photograph, sir?
On the right side. Again, it's facing back toward the right, which would be the kitchen area.
Let me show you a group of photographs, 766 to 771.
Yes, sir.
What are those photographs of, sir?
These are of the front bedroom, the bedroom that didn't have any furniture in it, but like possibly a child's bedroom.
You didn't see anything out of that, it's just documented?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Just show you a couple of those photographs. 766 is coming in the door there.
Yes, sir, this is coming in from the living room into that bedroom.
767.
Looking back across the room, just to show the general condition that the room was in, again, with no furniture, but a lot of household items and clothing on the floor.
771 shows what?
This is standing in that bedroom, looking back out of the entry door. This is looking back down toward the laundry room and kitchen area.
Let me show you 772, sir. What is that photograph of?
This is from the perspective, this is back in the living room, looking back out the front door. This is the entry door where I came in. So the sofa is located on the left side of the photograph, and then on the right side of the photograph, this is the window facing out to the front yard of the residence.
773 depicts what?
The same area. This just shows the location that sofa was in and the condition that it was in at that point.
774.
Looking back toward the kitchen area in the corner, again, just to show the location and condition of the furniture in the house.
And 775.
And this is from that same position, looking back. It's a little dark, but looking back down the hallway to the rear door of the house. The kitchen would be the first room that you'd come to going down the hallway, and then the laundry room would be on the back right side.
.777 is depicting what, sir?
This is a close-up photograph of that box of Winchester .40 caliber ammunition that was in the living room.
779.
And this is an additional photograph of that same box, just to show exactly what it is, what grain jacketed hollow point bullet. So it's a close-up photograph of that evidence.
780 is depicting what, sir?
This is one of the cell phones that was in the house. This was also in the curio cabinet. I believe the box of ammunition would have been down to the lower right of that. It may not be in that photograph. This is one of the 4 cell phones that I collected from the house.
781 was depicting what, sir?
I believe this is the top of the coffee table, if I'm not mistaken. It's one of the 2 tables that was in the room.
Let me show you what's been entered into evidence, 782 through 86. Could you just look at those very quickly, please? Tell us what those are. That group of photos.
Yes, so these are photographs of the bathroom that was adjacent to the living room.
And in 909, which bathroom is that?
It would be this one, again, that has the access door from the living room area.
782. Is what?
Yeah, so this is standing in the living room, just photographing into the bathroom there.
783.
Additional photograph just showing the condition that the bathroom was in at the point that I was at.
785, sir, what is that?
It's just a documentary photograph of the shower that was in that bathroom. It doesn't show anything in particular other than the condition.
Okay. 787 is showing what, sir?
This is a photograph basically standing in front of that bathroom, which would be on the left side of the photograph. This is the hallway that goes from the living room past the kitchen, which would be this area where the vacuum cleaner is on the right. Continue down that hallway, the laundry room is on the right at the end. That's the back door to the backyard, and then this open doorway is the doorway into the master bedroom.
This group of photographs, 788 through 797. Tell us what that group is depicting, sir.
Yes, sir. These are all overall photographs of the kitchen area of the house.
Show you a few of those. 78 shows a part of the kitchen there with the refrigerator.
Yes, sir. This is standing in the hallway looking in.
789.
Yes, sir. This is just another perspective of it, just to show the contents and the condition of the kitchen.
780. Where is that taken from and what is it?
This is actually taken from that hallway area. The kitchen will be on the left, and then this center area is back into the living room.
790, excuse me. It's 790. Let me show you what's been admitted as 798. What is that, sir?
Yes, sir. I believe this is looking back into that master bedroom area from the kitchen.
799 is depicting what, sir?
Just coming into the bedroom from the hallway, this is in the master bedroom. In the top center of the photograph, this is the box spring of the mattress. This is looking toward the back wall, which is the north wall. Beyond that wall would be the backyard, and this is the dresser located at the top of the photograph, and then the mattress was on top of it.
As I zoom in, where is that mattress that's on top of the dresser?
Yes, sir. The mattress is in that corner of the mattress is in view in this photograph, and then the dresser is located just to the north of the bed.
In 909, you see the position of that bed and that mattress. In 909, sir.
Yes, sir. The bed would be located in the approximate center of the master bedroom, and then that dresser located on that south wall. The mattress would have been laying or stacked right on top of that dresser there.
And exhibit 800 is showing what, sir?
This is a photograph of that entire mattress in the position that it was in over the window. If you remove that mattress, the window looking into the backyard is located just above that dresser.
801.
801 shows the condition that the room was in at that point that I was in there. Again, household items, clothing, children's toys, all strewn about.
And you see that, the box springs as well as the mattress in that photograph?
Yes, sir, the mattress in the upper right-hand corner of the picture.
Let me show you this group of photos, 803 to 808. Identify those, if you would.
Yes, sir, these are photographs of the master bathroom just off of the master bedroom.
And that was the condition you found it in when you arrived there?
Yes, it is.
And this first one, 803, this depicts where was that taken from?
This is taken from the master bedroom looking to the south back into the master bathroom just to show that there were blankets and sheets that were covering the bathroom floor.
And 805 depicting what, sir?
More of a close-up photograph, again showing blankets and bed sheets, towels that were located on the floor in that bathroom.
806.
This is just to show the general condition of the bathroom, the household items that were on the sink area, the condition of the commode in there at that point.
And on 808, sir, that has the toilet, but on the bottom, just to the left of the toilet as we look at it here, you can tell what those items were.
There's some food items that are located to the left of the toilet, some bags of chips, things of that nature that I see there.
Let me show you this group of photographs, 809 through 815. What do those depict?
These are additional photographs in the master bedroom that depict the general condition of that room while I was there.
They were just taken from different perspectives.
Yes, sir, they were.
And 809 was taken from what part? What point, sir?
This was standing in the master bathroom, looking back out into the bedroom itself. In the upper right-hand corner of this photograph, you can see the mattress covering that window. The nightstand is located here, and then the general disarray that the room was in.
811,
Again, this is coming from the bathroom, looking into the center of the bedroom, showing the location that the mattress was stacked on the dresser, and then the condition of the room, the box spring in the center of the photograph.
did you find any cell phones in this bedroom at all, or do you recall?
I don't recall specifically. Again, there were 4 cell phones, but I don't recall exactly where they were located.
Note those on your property receipt where you found them.
If I could take a look, I can
We
tell
can
you.
cover that later.
Okay.
Let me show you this group of photos, 816 through 825. Fit maybe several different areas. Can you look at those and just give us a general idea of what those are?
Yes, sir. Yes, so these are in the area of the laundry room at the rear of the house.
State's Exhibit 817 is showing what from what perspective?
Yes, sir, this is leaving the kitchen, which would be on the right side of the photograph, looking back down the hallway, and that door leads into the backyard. This would be the back door.
And 909, where would that photograph be taken, in what area?
I would have been standing about here in the kitchen and then looking back toward that back door.
And 819 is a picture of the laundry room.
Yes, sir, just to show the general condition of that room.
821 was depicting what, sir?
Yes, sir, this is the attic access door that's located in the laundry room, and it was showing that panel had been removed. The only way to access that would have been through a ladder or a tall chair or something of that nature that wasn't present in there, but that was the condition that was in when I was taking the photographs.
State's Exhibit 824 is depicting what, sir?
This is, I believe, standing outside the back door, and this photograph is taken back toward the living room at the top. Kitchen and laundry room would be on the right, and that master bedroom would be, or left rather, the master bedroom would be on the right.
State's Exhibit 826 through 836 depict what, sir?
These are different photographs that I had taken of the Smith & Wesson 40 caliber pistol and the ammunition that it was loaded with.
And was that the picture of the weapon before you seized it, and then, of course, after you seized it, documenting what it contained?
Yes, sir.
And 827, just another photograph of that weapon.
Yes, sir. It's just a photograph to document that side of the weapon.
And that was 827. And 828 is what?
It's the opposite side of the weapon, so we get photographs of both sides. I believe this one also has the model number that's stamped in the slide. It's a little washed out, but I believe it's a SW40VE is stamped here.
It's not appearing on that. And 829,
829 is a photograph of the serial number that was on that particular pistol.
8:30 was showing what, sir?
This is the magazine that was removed from the pistol, and that's what that shows. And I believe the ammunition was still in place at that point.
8:34 was showing what, sir?
This is as we ejected the cartridge that was in the firing position. This is that actual cartridge that came out of the firing position. It was it was chambered, ready to fire.
8:35 was showing what?
This is just to document the type of ammunition. Once those 7 rounds were removed from the magazine, I just wanted to photograph how many there were, and then the information that was on the head stamps of those bullets.
And 7:36 is what, sir?
This is a close-up photograph of one of the head stamps, and I believe this is the one that was from the chamber.
7:37 shows what, sir?
This is one of the kitchen drawers, and one of the cell phones that was collected was in this particular kitchen drawer, and that cell phone was in that lower right-hand corner.
You didn't know whether they did you rather not, or you just see so?
Yes, sir. All the phones that were taken were in the residence were taken.
Let me show you 8:38 through 8:41. That group.
Yes, sir. These are of the box of Winchester .40 caliber ammunition.
It was found on the curio cabinet.
Yes, sir.
8:38 depicts that box again.
Yes, sir. And in this photograph, one of the cell phones is also depicted. I believe this was shown in one of the earlier photographs.
8:39 shows what?
This is just manufacturer data located on that box, and this is just taken for documentary purposes.
On the bottom of the box
Yes, sir.
itself. And 8:41 was what, sir?
This is a photograph after the ammunition was actually removed from the box, just to show that all of the ammunition was head stamped the same with a Winchester head stamp, and that none of the ammunition had been removed from the box at that point.
At that time, when you say remove, you simply pulled it out of its out of the container itself.
Yes, sir. Just pulled the styrofoam out just to get that picture, and then it went back in.
And that is the styrofoam that that ammo is located in.
Yes, it is.
And if you will, for the record, how many rows of ammo are there, and how many rounds are in each row?
Yes, sir. There are, from left to right, there are 10, and from top to bottom, there are 5, so there's 50 rounds total.
This group of photos, sir, 8:42 through 8:55. What is that?
Yes, so these are photographs of some items that were in the master bedroom.
This shirt here, 8:43, was located hanging where, sir?
This is in the closet in the master bedroom.
8:45 was depicting what, sir?
This is the condition of the room once we picked that box springs up off the floor. This is just the items that were strewn about beneath that bed.
847 was depicting what?
Trying to get my bearings on that. I'm not specifically sure. I believe this is, I'd be hazarding a guess. I'm not exactly sure what that's of.
And you recognize this area maybe going into the bathroom, master bath, that being the chest right outside the master bath, or do you recall right now? Have to look at that photo.
Yes, sir. I believe that's correct. I believe this is, actually, I'm not sure. I can't
These
tell.
items right here are what?
Tennis shoes, and there were some cell phone chargers right here also that were plugged in.
Exhibit 48 was depicting what?
This is one of the cell phones that was in, I believe it was either one of the dresser drawers, or this was in the nightstand, but one of the cell phones that was collected from the master bedroom was in that drawer.
849.
I believe this is after we removed the mattress off of that chest of drawers, or the dresser, and that's what this is. The mattress has been set down on the floor so that we could go through the drawers.
And 855 is depicting what, sir?
This is the fourth cell phone that was in one of the drawers in that dresser, and that was the fourth phone that was collected.
We're gonna stop now for lunch.
Okay, thank you.
Lights, please, Mr. Edwards. I'm gonna let y'all go to lunch. If you've got things, transportation's downstairs ready, so if you need to get something out of the jail room, that's fine.